So welcome to another episode of Eminem Podcast. We took a very lengthy break.
Just a little break.
Yeah, this is our first episode of 2025. We hope you enjoy it. And
we back.
We back in business, y'all. We had a lengthy break. We had holidays,
birthdays,
and I went to see my cousin in Cali.
She came home with me for the holidays.
That's how I was had.
We was outside, and we've been outside since we got back to the D.
No, LA is nice. I think I should move there.
I think we're gonna stay out here, but we should visit
Facts.
often. Yeah, we have fun. We have
a good time.
So, in honor of us being back now, and also this is our second to last podcast in this space.
It is.
So it's a new season.
Malia's about to move, so it's gonna be like a new living room vibe.
Yeah.
So.
But we're bossing up this year.
We're bossing up this year.
What are we claiming this year for the podcast? Let's cheers.
We're gonna do a cheers to elevation.
Yes.
And growth.
Yes.
Mentally, financially, and spiritually.
Physically.
And physically.
Financially.
Definitely physically.
Emphasis. Emphasis.
Financially with a capital F. All caps,
yes.
Actually.
Exclamation. Send that one up to God on the main line.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me pour me some. Y'all don't see it, but it's my dog off camera looking at us pour this, wishing she could have some.
Mm-hmm. She wish.
Okay, so we did cheers. So pressed for the alcohol. So pressed.
I smelled it. I was like, drink.
Okay, so we're cheersing to better, or more abundance finances. Everything you listed?
More abundance financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, just all around, everything just aligning how it's supposed to align. Even when things don't go our way, it's all in alignment.
Yeah.
That's what we're cheersing to.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Okay, are we supposed to say amen to cheers?
I know, cheers!
But God made them drink wine.
Yes.
And we shall drink wine.
And on Sundays for communion.
Okay.
This is the body.
Oh, there you go.
So for this first episode of 2025, we're going to talk about dating and marriage and being young ladies who obviously are seeking marriage and being intentional and what that journey has been like for us so far. Hopefully y'all can relate to this because I feel like every girl, whether or not they like to talk about the fact that they're looking for a man, everybody's looking for a man.
Everybody's looking for a man.
Even if they say they're not, they're looking for a man.
They're looking for a man.
So the first question is, how do you know when a man is intentional about a future with you?
I would say that he's going to say things, but all men can say things. He's going to show you more than he can tell you. Because you have some men who don't say a lot, and they don't have to. They're going to show you.
Yeah.
You get around them, you just feel like, oh, I got a man around me.
Yeah.
Like, some things don't have to be said. It's just a given. Like, you shouldn't have to... Like what they say, you can leave your wallet home. Nothing but lip gloss in your purse. You know what I mean? Like, type shit. He comes to your house. He sees your trash is full. Like, just little knick-knack things. He's gonna be clear with you.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, look, I'm into you. I like you. This is what we doing.
Yeah.
And I want you.
Yeah.
He's gonna make it known.
I feel like it's the clarity part.
It's
a
the
man
clarity.
wants you, there's no questions, there's no confusion.
It's gonna be clear. Like, look, I want you to be my girl.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be super duper clear. Like, you shouldn't be on no fucking like Reddit, TikTok, Google Threads
Trying to figure out if that's the first red flag to know when a man might not want you. If you had to go and be like, how to know if a man wants you, he might not want you or want you anymore. And we've been there. I've done it. Look, how to know.
Not too much though. We haven't been there often
not too
or
much.
long.
It's been a long time. Look.
But it's gonna be intentional. Like, okay, so give some examples of when you knew, like, yo man, wanted you. She got good examples. That's why I want her to go first. She got really good examples.
I knew my man wanted me when I need my okay. I know. Okay, an example. This is just an example. It isn't. This is just an example. Okay. I knew my man wanted me when he showed public displays of affection towards me. The way how he talked to me very gently, talks to me very sweet. I knew a man wanted me when he brought up our future together.
Yes.
Like he was like, oh, we're gonna do this.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, you
Okay,
playing this
Daddy.
shit. Like, okay, Daddy, you playing this shit. Okay. Like when they speak of the future a lot, and they want, when they want to knock you up. When they want the little babies with you, I'm not saying that because you can end up being a baby mama. But like when they speak of having a family with you,
of building something with you,
you just know, you just feel it. Like he just gonna make it clear, like, yo, I like you, I want to do this with you, I'm feeling you, you my girl, you my woman.
Yeah,
that's what.
No, I agree.
You give me an example, Malia.
Malia what?
Malia's in the midst of examples as we speak.
Oh, the examples are overflowing.
The examples are literally currently overflowing over here. She's like, well, I got good examples.
You have great examples though.
Yeah.
Years long worth of
I have years long of examples because they always want me.
Yeah.
But
one man wants her clarification. I'm not getting in trouble. It wasn't me. I don't have her outside. Sir. We was just talking about you.
Oh my god. Malia, stop not playing with you.
Yeah, I'm in the midst of some examples.
She's in the midst of some examples.
Really good examples.
It's a man that currently wants her.
And I feel like similar to what you said, no confusion.
There's
clarity,
no confusion. Everything is just really clear.
Really clear.
Straightforward.
And like they're talking about the future. It's an immediate, just kind of like we're gonna do.
Remember
this.
what we talked about earlier? They're asking you things about yourself.
Yes.
Like they want to get to know you.
Yes.
They're asking you, what do you like? What do you dislike? What are your future goals?
Yeah.
What do you want?
And they're attentive. They're very attentive. Yeah. And
when they look at what you got going on and they want to better it.
Yeah.
They be like, oh, you got this, you doing this, oh, I'm trying to up the score.
Build together,
Yeah.
And they take note of stuff that you didn't even realize they took note of.
Yes.
That's when I be like, okay, so this is intentional. You're not just in my face to be in my face, like you. And they also say it. That's the easiest way to
it's simple, like,
know.
I really want you.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't say it. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's our next question?
What are you looking for in a man when you're dating?
I'm looking for a husband. I'm not looking for no little boy, no little like. I'm looking for a husband and a father of my kids and somebody to build with, like somebody to build a foundation with.
Yeah.
Like I ultimately like whenever God says my time is up, I would love to have reached the end of my time with a partner. People looked at us as like an example in the community. Like we helped other people. Like we raised good kids.
Right.
Like we poured into our community. You know, like I want to leave an impact. I want somebody to leave an impact with me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that. I'm not looking for no little girl shit.
You're not looking for no kitty play.
No.
We looking for some
and I'm
real
looking for
shit.
Big shit.
Big dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because by myself, even by yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like
by ourselves.
Yeah.
You gotta match. You gotta meet.
So it's like if anybody comes into this,
they're gonna see the material and they're gonna like, oh, I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah. Or they're gonna be like, I'm already there, bet. Baby,
yeah, like, oh yeah,
we gonna
let's lock in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm looking for a man who's considerate, a man who is intentional, a man who is looking for a wife, because I feel like some men see what you have to offer and they just want to be around you because they know
some men just be looking for a girl. They just want a girl. Yeah. They don't want a wife. They just want a girl. They just want company.
Yeah.
Something they want 24/7.
Yeah. Access.
Access. They just want somebody to hang out with when something to do when there's nothing to do. They just want a girl. They want female companionship. They don't want a wife.
I'm looking for a man with a plan.
A man with a plan. Malia, that's a good one. A man with the plan is real. Yeah, a man with the plan.
Because I want to sit down.
Yeah.
I want to sit. And not like I don't want to do anything. I just want to like rest in
no pressure. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, do you believe a man can change?
I do.
Yeah.
I believe a man can change. Why? Because I feel like myself, I feel like I'm always changing.
That's true.
Even the mistakes that I've made, the things that I've done, the person who I was last year, a year before that, I'm not the same girl.
Yeah.
I'm not the same woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do believe that men can change. Like, you know, I watch my dad change. Like, my dad's not the same person who I literally watch my dad change.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. Like, when I was young, my dad had me in his late 20s, 30s. Like,
he was young.
I really kind of like low-key watched him grow up. My dad is like a God-fearing man. I watch him.
Great dad.
Yeah, I love my daddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watch him change. Like, I've seen examples where I've seen it where men can change. I don't just be like, oh, you did this one time. I do believe a man can change. Will he change for you? Maybe not. Maybe you might have to be the one to like put your foot down and you might get your heart broken. He might change for the next woman. But I do believe that men change for who they want to and when they want to.
And when they're ready.
And when they're ready.
Yeah.
Not for the kids, not for their wife, not for the woman, not for their girlfriend, not for anybody else, not for the job, not for nobody. It's when they want to and for who they want to change for. I do believe men can change. I don't feel like you should just convict a man from something. Like, I feel like men can change.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think men can change. I think my example, similar to yours, not my dad, but I watched my uncle change.
Right.
I watched him.
That's a male figure.
Yeah. Like, I watched him go from being in the streets and whatever he was doing to back to school, multiple degrees, whole licensed drug therapist, taking care of his kids and everything. Like, I watched him change.
Perfect example. I watched my dad go through anger management classes.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the same.
Him change. And even me and my uncle, I used to fight with this nigga every single day. Now, we be kikiing. Like, that's my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think men can change, but the only caveat to that is it's their change. It's not pretty. The time period may change. It's going to look different for every man. So I don't necessarily think I personally, depending on what the change entails, I don't always condone sticking around for a man to change.
Yes. He's going to change, but on his time.
Yes.
You still, as a woman, you still have to
do you.
Yeah. That's just the fact of the matter. Don't wait around for him to change, because sometimes you being around won't help him to change.
Yeah. Because you're co-signing his
You have to stand on business. If you really want him to change, you got to stand on business and let him know, like, I'm not.
No, it was funny because I was talking to this dude a couple weeks ago, honestly.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about it.
I had to tell my friend, and she was like, well, do you think he could change? To be honest, initially there was nothing wrong with him, and then slowly but surely, I was like, this isn't my husband, it's not going anywhere, I'm over it. And they were like, okay, well, he's trying to get all these things in his life together, da, 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 da. I said, let me be very clear. I said, I have yet to see a man
He has
change.
to lose you in order for him to...
Yes, he has to lose you, but I also told my friend, I said, in my lifetime of dating, I have yet to see a man change in the midst of him dating a single girl. I said, there's never been a man I've been with who... There was something about him I did not like. By the end of the time I was talking to him, he changed it. I said, so I don't think that this is going to be the first man that I come across that in the couple months we've been talking is going to change. So I'm not about to stick around and wait for some potential or whatever the case is. So I think men change. I think big stuff long term when it comes to their family, especially when it comes to their personal growth. A man in his 20s
is not men can change. Like, even a man that's like not a good dad. I feel like a man could probably not be a good dad when you're young, and he could change. Malia.
And she has an excellent father. This is like white privilege.
No, it's not.
She has dad privilege.
No, it's not. Not dad privilege.
She has excellent
No,
privilege.
I still know. Okay, but I still know like what I'm talking about. Okay, Malia's dad is my uncle. Let's just make that clear. That's my mom's brother. We don't with him. Sorry.
We don't. My dad in a group chat.
Literally, I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. The shame that I feel knowing that I'm her cousin or her daddy's side, and he's a piece of He is like literally. I don't like him. But I love my cousin. I'm so happy
This is my best friend.
I love my cousin.
Twin in a different font.
No, literally.
But my daddy, my father.
But I do believe, Malia, the same way you just said you watched your uncle change.
You think my father, Michael Blake?
I do think he changed. I'm sorry. saying. You watch your uncle change. That's your experience with your uncle. Your dad, that's my uncle. I do feel like he's not.
He has changed. Let me
not as bad, Malia. Like for real.
He's not.
Like for
but he's
a homeowner now, Malia.
You know what it is.
Come on.
You know what it is.
Y'all, he live up Park Heights, but he a homeowner though.
But you know what
he
it
on
is.
That shit.
Don't hype him up.
Yeah. And I don't even like him. I don't like him.
You know what it is. I'm not gonna fault nothing.
I do feel like
because I do think that God has His hand on my father's life.
He's trying.
My father is trying, and so I acknowledge him trying. I acknowledge how far he has come based on
he can do better.
He can do way better.
He can do way better.
The reason I'm not coming up off of how I feel about that man. Men change, but like I said, the man may not change to the point where you need them to change. My father's change doesn't mean shit to me because of the things that he has done. You know what?
And I will say this, with you just saying that, he changed for himself. He didn't change for his kids.
Anybody else. Yes.
That just hit me from when you just said that. I would say that he changed as far as self-development.
And I also think he changed just to flaunt that mess. He changed just to be like, my sister's got that house, I got this house.
Yeah.
You've yet to invite them over.
Yes.
You were staying at their house all the time.
Nobody has seen that.
You've yet to.
Malia's the only one who knows their address.
Sometimes, I'm not going to say that on camera. Sometimes I think things, y'all, though.
Stop thinking things.
I went to God about it.
She's a crazy girl.
I went to God about it. I think men change. But you have to protect your heart. You have to protect your energy. With my father, I think it's a prime example of me protecting my energy because he has changed, but in a split second, that man can revert to who he used to be because I've seen him do it. And so I'm just going to protect my space.
He's a piece of work.
Yeah. So I think if you want a man to change, whether it's your father, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, whoever it is, I think give them the grace. We're all human. God has accepted our flaws. We should all be accepting of other people's flaws. But set your boundaries if you want to.
Set your boundaries.
Yeah.
And I have a good dad, but it was times I had to set my boundaries with my dad. I've had to put him on timeout. I've had to cut him off.
Yeah.
And and he changed. Like I would have to stand on business. Same thing you have to do with a man or a friendship. Just people period. Even though they are our parents, they're not superhuman. They're not. They are still regular people, just winging it. You know what I mean?
Winging it.
They're literally winging it.
It's your first time here.
Clearly. They're still winging it. So you still have to set your boundaries with them and just let them know hey, Dad, I don't like that. You're not gonna.
Do you think that your relationship with your dad has dictated who you date and how you date?
Yes.
In a good or a bad way?
A good way.
Okay.
Because I watched my dad be a provider. My dad was a hands-on dad.
Period.
I lived with him most of my life. Well, I'm not going to say most of my life, but I lived with him. He was very present. I had a room at my dad's house, room at my mom's. I lived with both my parents. I spent most of my 20s living with my dad. I spent my, my grade school years living with my mom. So, my dad was he was like a second mom.
Yeah.
Literally, when I lived with my dad, he literally taught me how to be a woman. He would tell me I would make sure I cook, I would do laundry, I would clean out this stuff. I would say that it does affect how I date. Even the things that he didn't do, I know what I do and don't want because he's a great dad. How was he to my mom? No, that's another story. That's another story for another day. But I would say it does affect the way that I date. But I'm not gonna say if I did have a bad dad, I don't want to sound I don't know the right words to say, Malia. You
say it.
Okay, don't you know it's you can't speak on something that you've never experienced or you don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say that if I did have a dad that wasn't present, I would know what I want from what he didn't do.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
The same way I know what I want from the things that my dad didn't do, the little that he didn't do. So it's I would take the bad and revert it to good. I wouldn't take that and just be this is...
And repeat the behavior.
I wouldn't just be this is just my life. This is the hand I've been dealt and I'm just going to sink in it. No, I'm not going to do that.
No, 100%.
And I don't understand when people do that. And they're like, oh, Leah, you got a dad. It's that's not the point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I still didn't have growing up, but I made sure I had it growing up.
Yeah. I think my father's absence
and
how...
Are you answering the same question for you? Because I want to ask you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, does it affect how you date?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's good and bad. Like, I think the fact that... Well, I think my father's absence, how my mom responded to it and knowing why she left him.
Your mom responded very gracefully. Let me tell you one thing about Jennifer. That was very graceful. I must say.
Yeah.
Very graceful. So you had a very graceful mom. You didn't grow up with a bitter mom.
No.
And I can tell, I can say that.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up with a bitter mom, and she wasn't like, nah.
She just handled her business. She took her kids, and she handled her business. And I think with that situation, I think my mom tells me all the time, she was like, if your father, because my father has mental health issues, which I think is a whole nother can of worms.
That's another episode for another day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, if he didn't have those, she said, I loved my husband. She said, I took my vows seriously. She said, I still will be married to my husband. So I know the type of woman that she was. I know what she was looking for, what she didn't get from my dad, and I know why she left. And I know who she is as a woman, and she raised me. So at the end of the day, I have all of her values to a T. And so even though he wasn't there, I had other father figures in my life. I had my uncle, I had my grandfather, I had my mother, and just like knowing
your cup was half full instead of half empty,
100%.
And you still,
yeah. And so I think I learned in the absence of there being my father figure there, but other father figures there, just in general, what I needed out of a man once I came of age and stuff, and what I wanted in the father of my kids.
And breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna make sure the father to your kids is the father that you always wanted, 100%. Right? And I know you are.
Yeah.
Period.
And it's gonna be a present, active, like diligent.
I see that for you. Yeah. I know you're gonna get that. So that's why, I know, I feel like you're doing well.
I'm happy. I love how it turned out though, because you know what?
How it turned out.
I feel like the stuff that happened with my father made me a better person, and I think it taught me how to not let people fuck around with me. I will say I don't think I give people as much grace, because I'm like, I cut my daddy off. Who are you? So there's probably a really cold side to me as well, which is just is what it is. I don't give it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm grateful for my experiences. I wouldn't change a single thing in my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm shitting on my father. There were times where my father was good. I have great memories with my dad. I think he tried his best. I understand his limitations and his handicaps. I think that God is still working with him. I think God has his hand on his life. I have healed. I have grown. I just choose to remove myself from my father. I think my father, God is doing what he needs to do over there. And he's doing what he needs to do with me over here. And if things change at some point,
then they just change.
They'll change.
God willing.
Not willing too much, but...
Okay, so a question to you is, how do you feel about being the breadwinner or holding a man down, or how do you feel about that?
Okay, so I think that this goes back to the lack of a father. Just because there was not always a father figure, I'm so independent as a woman. I'm going to do everything that I need to do, because I'm a man could leave, a man could switch up. You just never know. So I feel I've always had the mindset, of course I would love for a man to be in the picture. I'm going to have my own. That being said, if I did have a man and for whatever reason, our circumstances changed and I ended up the breadwinner, or I was always the breadwinner, I think that would be fine. If the love is there,
if the love is there,
in other ways.
I was just about to say that, sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes he can show me ways. You see Peaches? Do you follow Peaches?
With all them kids.
Yeah, she I got a husband and 10 kids. So,
Peaches.
Yes, I feel with Wood. I'm not gonna lie, I know they're a little toxic, but who isn't, okay?
No, honestly.
They're your average couple. They're just blessed that
they just put it online.
It's
and
just
they got 10 kids. And they got evicted.
Okay, great. Okay, right.
And she get
No, she got a new place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she stayed with a place for them kids. She would take care of them kids, yeah. So I feel like she talks about how he doesn't do things, but she sticks with him for a reason. He makes up in other ways.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a great dad. I don't know too much. I feel like he's a great dad. That's just an example that everybody knows of. Just to use that. But
So how would you feel? You would be the breadwinner if needed.
I've done it.
Oh, Period.
I've done it. I don't mind holding my man down, being a breadwinner, because one thing about me, I have this thing where I just have this thing where I can see potential, and I know when a man has a millionaire mindset.
Yes.
Like, I just know it. I can smell it. I can feel it. So it's like, even if I like, you know what, when it was time for him to show up for me,
he showed out.
They did a big one
He showed
every time.
Out.
They show out. So it's like, you know, sometimes you gotta let a man know, like, I know how to hold my weight. Like, I know how to pick up where you left off.
I think also they want to know.
And that's going to make them want to do more for you.
And I feel like they want, like, they love giving, but they also want somebody who's going to love giving to them.
Yeah,
like it should be.
Men want that too. Yeah. Like, they want to feel like, if I lose everything today or tomorrow,
is she going to still be
Are we going to lose everything?
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not.
At all.
I'm gonna get my ass up and
I'm
gonna do some hair and I'm gonna work.
Keisha behind my man. I'm
Keisha behind it.
I'm gonna sell that tea, that lip gloss, not that ass, but
all that. We gonna do what needs to be done. Look, I'm on Indeed next day. Look, entry level.
Doing what I need to do.
Okay, period. So.
Okay, let's end it on a fun note.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some green flags about a man?
Green flag is a green flag about a man. Are we talking about like what he do or like appearances?
Just him.
Just
him.
Like hygiene.
Okay.
Like, I love a man with a great hygiene routine. Like, as far as like breath, haircuts, you know, how you smell, how you take care of yourself. I hate a lazy. Just take care of yourself, just lazily, just rolling out of bed, throwing on, like, no, I like a man that likes to put himself together. I love a nice, clean cut man. You ain't gotta be the cutest, but you gotta be nice and clean cut and put together. What's the green flag for you?
A green flag for me is a man with some motivation.
Yeah.
Not motivation, a man who like has something to show for. Like motivation and something to show for.
A man with goals and
I hate niggas that be dreaming but have nothing to show for.
I had a man that's dreaming and just out here just winging it and it's like,
and the dream,
I'm about to be out here winging with you.
Yeah. I don't want no fantasy. Mm-mm. I like when you have a plan and when there's stuff to show for already.
When the man
at this age,
put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, at this age you should have something to show for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like a man with ambition. That's a green flag. Mm-hmm. Ambition.
Physically, I like a man that knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's a great. That's a great green flag.
Yes, it is.
And who can please.
Mm-hmm.
Like in every area.
In every area. It's like, why are you so perfect? What's the catch? But that's another thing. We shouldn't be worried about what's the catch. You just live in the moment.
Just sit in it. Just sit in it.
So, okay, what's a red flag? You go first.
Ooh. A red flag is... Let me not say that.
I know my red flag already.
What's your red flag? Say it.
My red flag in a man is someone that I don't like when a man has a mindset that every woman wants to use him. I don't like that. When you're like hesitant to like do for me or hesitant to like do certain things or be a certain way because you feel like, oh, that's a red flag for me. Because it's like, first of all, I don't need you.
Yeah.
You're not the end all be all. Let's not forget. I can boss myself up. Mm-hmm. Another red flag is a sneaky.
Sneaky is
especially if you're not together.
Yeah. That's a red flag. I think my red flag is a man that is cheap. But like
that goes into thinking somebody's about to use him. They being cheap. Like, I don't like that.
No, I think it's a red flag because I'm like cheap in the sense of I feel like you don't have it, and I don't think that you'll ever have it. And I just know the life.
They don't have them. They have a mediocrity mindset towards life.
Yes.
They don't want. They're not on the level you're on as far as lifestyle and what you want.
Because I feel like I have an abundant life mindset.
Yes.
I feel like I have a very abundant mindset. So everything I do, even if I don't necessarily have it in this moment, I'm like, oh, it's going to come. So I move as if it's going to come. And if you're cheap and you're already putting yourself in the mindset of, I don't have it, I don't want to spend it.
And a broke
mindset,
yeah. Words of defeat.
it's a red flag for me because I'm just like, there's always space, room, and opportunity in every situation, in every season. And if you can't acknowledge that, yeah. So I don't, like a cheap mindset I don't like because I can't get behind it. Alright, y'all, so that was our first episode back of 2025, just talking about dating and marriage as two ladies.
Yes, just out here, just living our lives.
Yeah.
Just like y'all, and just,
our perspective on relationships.
Yeah.
One of many that we'll probably
We hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Bye.